Hey everybody, First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Penovich. It has been a long day. We have had a lot of weather today. Numerous tornadoes and numerous tornadoes touching down. We're waiting for some official numbers for the tornadoes, which we'll talk about here in a second. But let me focus on the threat tonight because we've got so many flood warnings. It's really hard to even break them all down for you because essentially every county is under some type of flood advisory or flood warning right now. The good news is the rain is beginning to let up. A lot of this rain is pushing off to the north and east and actually beginning to let up a little bit. You can see the big area of rain sitting over the Piedmont, continuing to push off to the north and east. As I widen this out, I'm going to turn the regional radar on just to show you how this whole band is extending off to the east. So a couple things to notice here. The heavy rain is off to the east, but we still got moisture back to the west. There's an upper level system moving through parts of the mid-south, and yeah, there's some snow in there. So the mountains are going to see some pretty good snow, I think, tomorrow during the day possibly, and even late tonight and early tomorrow, maybe even into Saturday morning. So this system is going to continue to move out, but the flooding continues to be a huge issue tonight. And if I turn on the rainfall amounts, there's just incredible amounts of rainfall that has been in our area. You look at some of these totals, which I'll show you actually, the totals that we have so far. This is based on the reports that we're getting from the individual airports and official reporting stations. So 3.06 in Charlotte, which is a daily record, 3.83 in Lincolnton, 5.24 in Hickory. Really amazing amounts of rainfall. This is just since midnight last night. So we're coming up here close to 20 hours ago. Concord, your gauge is always broken, so don't read into that. But pretty impressive to see the number of amounts that are over 3 and 4 inches. So just a crazy amount of rain. And that rainfall total for the Charlotte area clearly was a record. Our old record was 2.91 for this date. The new record is 3.06, and it's still raining, so there's a good chance we could see that record obliterated even more overnight. A couple of things, good news to pass along to you. Obviously, there is no longer a tornado watch in effect for our area. That watch is all the way off to the east now. The flood watch is still up. This flood watch is going to be up, I think, through midnight tonight. So I'm actually going to change that. I don't know why we have that. It says this evening. It should be through midnight as we see that heavy rain begin to exit the region. So see if I can get that to pop up there for you. There we go. So what I'm going to do is change this while I'm talking to you. This is basically probably until Friday morning. So I'll edit this while I'm talking to you. That's the flood watch, which is in effect. So let me show you the severe weather threat, which has diminished immensely. Thank goodness. The severe weather threat is almost completely out of our area, albeit except for a little area off to the east. That threat is shifted out of here as it goes off to the coast. And down towards coastal sections of eastern North Carolina. We've still got some medium threats in there, but you can see all of our area at least is out of here. So folks, my viewers on the Outer Banks, eastern North Carolina, Low Country, South Carolina, you've got a couple more hours of some nasty cells you've got to get through before you're all in the clear. Let me briefly, if I can pull this up, we're going to try something different here. I want to talk about some of the flooding potential across the area. So I'm going to show you the basically what we look at is the stream gauges. And the first thing that jumps out at me on this, and I was just talking to the newsroom about this, is Sugar Creek at Arrowwood Drive. You know that area when you're going over to a Microsoft campus and the TGI Fridays on Arrowwood. The thing you notice on here is that we're at a major level as far as this creek. So there could be some significant flooding going on in that area. Let me actually add my whiteboard so I can actually draw on here. Got to make this real big so you can see it. I'm going to make it yellow. There we go. So you can see where that is right up there. Pretty high number there. Also of importance, the South Fork of the Catawba River over here in Gaston County. Let me pop that up. We're approaching 16. Let me make this bigger so you guys can see it. Make it nice and big there. We're approaching 16.2 feet. Now, why that's important, at 15.5 feet, we see flooding of Cramerton Fire Department, Cramerton Police Department, a lot of businesses on 8th Avenue. There will be a lot of structures there. This is the highest flood level that we've seen since 2003. So certainly one of the higher levels that we've seen in our area. So if you live in the area, there are some voluntary evacuations. I would go ahead and heed those warnings. Also, another area of concern is, whoops, pop this up, is the Broad River near the North and South Carolina border in Boiling Springs, 8.5 feet. So that's moderate flood level there. That's another area we're watching. And then the Catawba River chain. Catawba River at Lookout Shoals is currently at the dam at 104.47 feet. That is actually at moderate flood stage as well. The record is 107.4. I do not believe they're forecasting that to go higher, but it's always difficult because Duke Power controls that water, so you don't always know where it's going to go. So those are some of the higher totals. Rocky River as well, it's got a pretty high level as well, 19.4. I mean, look how quickly that water came up there. So just amazing water levels. And these runoff is going to take a while to go down, so you're going to see runoff going on and off throughout the night. So I don't think it's going to be something that we're going to see go away in quick order here. So let me quickly show you some of the storm reports from today. I'm actually going to pull these up if I can get them to pop up. And we can kind of talk about some of the damage we've got today, including in my neighborhood, which I have a lot of work ahead of me tomorrow. Let's pop these up a little bit bigger so you can see these. So here were our tornado reports. We had possibly a tornado touchdown in southern Cleveland County and then move into Mecklenburg County. Now, this was the warning that prompted everybody in Uptown to seek shelter. But then we had another spin up right here near Carowinds in the Lake Wiley area. That was actually the one that went through my neighborhood. My home is okay, but we have a lot of tree damage and there'll be a lot of cleanup going on tomorrow. So if you're a tree person or you got an extra chainsaw, hit me up in my Facebook private messages because I'm going to definitely need some help tomorrow. I can see the next couple of days will be rough for me as well. And everybody from this area over towards the Matthews area, possible tornado track there. We'll wait for the National Weather Service to head out there. The other tornado that we had touchdown was clearly up here in Concord and Kannapolis. These are probably two separate tornadoes, one up here that moved up towards southeastern part of Rowan County, and then the one right here around Concord. Now that one in Concord continued east, and we had some damage in the Albemarle area. Maybe possibly the same tornado track, we're not sure yet. Possibly two separate ones there. Again, all of this we'll know more tomorrow as the Weather Service gets out there and survey it. When I get up first thing in the morning, I'm going to fly my drone over my neighborhood, try to get a path that I can see where it basically set up. But what I wanted to show you was the video that my former house, they're our neighbors now, they only live 2 blocks away from me. They were nice enough to send me, I say nice enough, I felt bad for them. They sent me a video from their backyard, and this used to be my backyard. We moved within our neighborhood about 2 years ago. Within our neighborhood, we loved our neighborhood so much, we just moved into a different house in our neighborhood. But we're still in good contact with our neighbors and the people that bought our house. And I wanted to show you this video because it's pretty crazy. So I'm going to play it. And this is their backyard. This is the covered porch here. And as we watch this, you'll see it's kind of dead calm. Not much going on. If you look over the fence line, you start to see something going on over in this area. It looks like some strong winds developing. In fact, the camera's trying to pick it up. You'll see a big gust blow everything off. Watch these trees come down. All these trees come crashing down. And then there's a brief lull in the wind. And then watch what happens here a couple seconds later. There's another huge surge of wind that comes in, and pushes everything again. Straight line winds don't do that. It's pretty consistent winds and then it's done. But typically what happens is we see the wind hit from one side, there's a brief calm, and then it goes back to the other side. So that's why we're fairly confident that that was a tornado. And then at my house, in my backyard, I have 2 weather stations, and my weather stations did detect a surge of wind, a calm, and then another surge of wind with a wind direction change from south to north to northeast to northwest, and then back to south. So we had a counterclockwise rotation in the wind field. So that's why I'm fairly confident we had a tornado. So that's why that area is likely going to end up being a tornado coming up tomorrow. But we'll know more when we look at this during the day tomorrow. So again, tonight, flash flooding is our primary concern, and this will continue to be an issue through the overnight hours. So do not let your guard down for flooding and additional issues on the roads. As far as tornadoes and wind, we can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief, though I will tell you the winds will be gusty tonight behind the front when it pushes through, and any weakened trees are certainly going to have issues. We're possibly going to see the saturated soil lead to some trees getting knocked down again, and anything that's weak or leaning from today's storms certainly could cause some issues during the overnight hours. So let me show you the FUTURECAST so I can show you how quickly this mess is going to move out of here. I'll pop this up full screen so it's a little easier to see. Obviously heavy rain over us right now. As we get closer to the midnight hour, everything starts to move out, dries out, and yeah, that's snow heading into the mountains tonight. That's how cold it's going to be tomorrow. Cold and windy with snow showers in the mountains, and then drying out for Saturday before the next surge of moisture comes in. And because I can never do a Facebook Live without talking about a little bit of snow, we'll talk about that snow in the mountains. I'm going to pause it right there. But you can see by Friday night, we've got a pretty good surge of snow there in the North Carolina mountains. Some of these areas, Roan Mountain, Beech Mountain, Sugar Mountain, up towards Mount Rogers, could pick up 2 to 4 inches, maybe some higher amounts. And then there'll be another surge of moisture coming in, it looks like Saturday, which could enhance this even more. So, we go from springtime conditions to, some pretty crazy, almost winter-like conditions. So, again, snow is always fun to talk about. I'd much rather talk about snow than tornadoes like we had today, because a lot of people are picking up the pieces, scared a lot of people today. I hope everybody had a safety plan. I was really happy to see a lot of people actually enact their safety plan and seek shelter. A lot of people didn't. Use this experience as a lesson. Everyone in your household, your business, your school, your church needs to have a severe weather plan. There is no excuse not to have a plan in place. It costs you nothing to do. It just means everybody knows where to go and what to do. The first part is identifying in your building where is a safe place to go. It's got to be away from the outside walls, windows, and whatnot, and getting towards the middle of the building that is going to be safe. I've seen too many times today where some schools were under a tornado warning and didn't do anything. They kept the kids in their classroom. I saw a lot of businesses not do anything. I saw a lot of people at home get caught off guard and not know what's going to happen. I know it's tough to get the information. My job and us here at WCNC is to get that information too. We try to give you as many days notice as possible, but these warnings are going to spin up quickly. The goal is that you have a plan in place so that when there is a warning, you can act on it and not everybody stand around and look at each other and go, what do we do? And nobody does anything. It's like inaction actually causes everybody to be paralyzed and not take any action. So just use it as a lesson today. Hopefully everybody learned something from today. We'll learn from it. We'll do better next time. There's a lot of things we could have done better leading up to this to get the information out quicker, better. But that's the way these things go. So hopefully everyone's safe today. If you had damage, please be safe on the cleanup. We'll be thinking about you. Send me pictures or video. We'd love to pass that along to the Weather Service so we could confirm some of these tornado tracks versus straight line tracks. This is valuable information as we look across the area. So we'll be on tonight at 11. Aisha Scott's in here with me as well. We'll talk about the flooding throughout. We're going to have some live reports from some of the flooding locations and recap some of the damage as we look back at a busy day, which started now, for me, 12 hours ago, when we started first starting to see some of these severe storms move in. So I'll see you tonight at 11, and if anything changes, I'll pass along warnings here. I probably won't be posting as many flood warnings, just too many of them to keep up with. But if I see anything imminent, like a dam failure or a breach of a levee or something like that, I probably will post that. But just assume everything is flooding right now. Stay away from the rivers, creeks, and streams for the next couple of days.